I'm going to show you how I made my bronzed pirate corset. The basis of this corset art starts with a pre-made corset and some spray paint. I ended up using a combination of teal, copper, and rose gold for the most part. I wanted something that looked a lot like patina, so I started with a base of the blue spray paint. And the beauty with something like patina or rusted looking, it's not meant to be completely even. What I was really going for is a lot of depth. With the copper, I went around the edges and on the boning, which also gave the blue an opportunity to come through on the low points, giving it a little bit more depth. The copper is actually a metallic, but it's really difficult to see here. It does have a beautiful shine in the light, but it took a lot of spray paint. And don't be afraid to build it up. I really went around this several times, going back and forth between the blue and the copper, and then I ended up hitting it with the rose gold just to give it a little bit of extra shine and shimmer, and it ended up coming out really nicely. And the reason I like using spray paint for stuff like this, especially the metallics, is because it really lends itself well to creating a lot of depth and that really nice artistic sort of look to it. It's not just dyeing the fabric itself, but it's creating a lot of beauty and a lot of different things, and it never comes out the same twice. And Rust-Oleum sticks to absolutely anything and everything, so I've never had a problem with any of the paint chipping off, rubbing off. It really does a great job with adhering to all of the metal pieces of the corset as well as the fabric itself. I am curious what this process would look like with these colors on a white corset, but for the black one, I really wanted to make sure I had that nice deep dark depth. Once my multiple layers of the blue and the copper was totally dry, I went and hit it again with the rose gold just as a top layer, and I pretty much just went around the edges, went down some of the boning pieces as well, and it came out looking really nice. This next bit I thought I had been filming and I actually wasn't, so I'm just going to walk you through this, but thankfully it's super simple. The foliage that I'm adding here, I actually just found in the local craft store in the clearance department, and I just took it outside and spray painted it with some copper and some rose gold. The moss I also found at the local craft store, and it was pretty cheap, and then I also hit that with some spray paint as well to give it that extra little bit of metallic quality to it. But before I added all of that to the corset using E6000 glue, I found some of my Dragon Glaze, which is more of like an interference type paint, which is, this stuff here is actually an acrylic paint that has some really beautiful iridescent colors to it, and it comes in all kinds of different types of iridescent, but it dries clear with just this beautiful shimmer, and I covered all of the high points of the corset with this iridescent shimmer. The filigree is the same hot glue filigree that I've made in the past. This particular one here, I actually made the mold myself for out of a piece of wood onlay that I'd gotten at the local hardware store. And then I just painted it with the same blue and rose gold as I used on the rest of the corset. I also added a bunch of different sized rhinestones, and this was the finished product. In the light, it has this beautiful shine to it. It glitters, it has this metallic quality to it, but it also sort of has this leather look to it, like old worn leather, which I absolutely love. And because everything was adhered using E6000 glue, it is not going anywhere. It's actually totally waterproof with the exception of the moss. The moss may have a little bit of trouble sticking if you're really like going somewhere and getting the whole corset wet, but for the most part, everything else is pretty waterproof. So while technically this is probably more of a craft project, I consider it corset art because to me, this is a piece of wearable art. It's also a very easy day-long project, and I hope it's inspired you to go out there and create something magical.